Not everyone is given the same road. There is something we rarely admit when we talk about success. Not everyone is given the same road. Some people begin with support, others begin with survival. Some inherit opportunities they never had to fight for. Others spend years trying to reach the place where someone else was able to begin. Some people face illness, loss, poverty, family responsibilities, or circumstances that consume energy. Others are free to spend on dreaming. And sometimes, life simply asks more of one person than it asks of another. We don't like admitting this because we have turned equality of worth into an illusion of equality of circumstance. Psychology calls our tendency to compare ourselves with others social comparison, but comparison becomes cruel when we ignore the roads people had to travel. You look at someone's success and call yourself behind, but you don't know what they started with, and they don't know what you had to carry. Maybe you had to spend years climbing a hill that someone else never had to face. That doesn't make your progress less impressive. It makes the distance you traveled harder to see. And here's something important. Acknowledging that you had it harder is not self-pity. It is not weakness. It is not declaring yourself a victim and surrendering responsibility for your life. There is a difference between saying, "My circumstances have made my life harder," and saying, "Therefore I can do nothing." The first can be truth, the second is a choice. You can acknowledge the unfairness without surrendering your agency. You can say, "Yes, I was given less," and still ask, "What can I build with what I have?" Because pretending everyone received the same starting point doesn't make life fair. It only makes struggling people feel ashamed for struggling. Some people will travel farther with fewer obstacles. Some will have to fight for things others receive naturally. That is painful, and it is okay to admit that it is painful. You don't have to turn every hardship into a motivational lesson. Sometimes something was simply hard. Sometimes you really were given a heavier burden. Call it what it is. Then, when you're ready, look at what remains in your hands. Your circumstances may explain why your journey has been harder, but they do not have to write the final sentence of your story. You are allowed to acknowledge the weight of your road and still keep walking.